Hey guys, Sajady here for Moss on Sundays. Thanks for listening in, coming in on live. A couple things why you want to be on live, and is that one, the frequencies are purer, the frequencies are more powerful. For those who are new, welcome. You might go, or you might have heard of me, or how you ran across me. It's like, who the hell is this guy? What is this guy all about? Well, this guy is all about bringing in this case, truth. We're going to do a global frequency meditation, and I'll explain some of the differences on, say, what a normal meditation is compared to the HyperMeditations, but where my abilities come in, or how that can help you. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Again, for those who've been here before, just basking into the frequencies, because that's what it's really about. The future of medicine, as Einstein said, is the future of frequencies. And that's what we're getting into. The future of science is the future of frequencies. The future of you is the future of frequencies. Okay? You might go, well, what the hell are frequencies? Well, and there's different frequencies, or different types of frequencies, right? There's some people go, well, whoa, that person's really mad, right? And you can feel, say, their frequencies. It's literally a frequency that comes off them. It's that vibe that somebody has, right? I don't like that person's vibe, right? Or I'm in the vibe, or, I'm in the groove, or whatever they call it nowadays. So those are all frequencies, and those are all, say, physical frequencies. So sound, light, any other, say, experience that you feel are frequencies. Your essence, what you're sending out that people pick up on you, is a frequency, right? Some people go, oh, I don't know what it is about that person, but I really like that person. Right? That's the frequency that they're sending out. Just like a GPS or a tracker device. It's there. You might not know what's going on with it, but it's sending out, say, your location. Well, the frequency that you're sending out, again, is everything about you. No matter what you do, it's everything about you. And here's the key: no matter what you do at a physical level, like you dress nice, you talk differently, and so on like that, do you notice that you get the same life experiences, right? Say, for example, dating. You might repeat your dating patterns over and over again. Again, it's not what you've done in the past. It's not the therapy. It's not the psychology. It's not all those things that you've gone through to improve your relationships. In this case, it's basically about what you're sending out, the vibes that you're sending out. Okay, there's a science behind that. I haven't created that science. I've discovered the science through 2 near-death experiences, and those 2 near-death experiences allow me to step out of, say, the frequencies that I generate. And then it allows me to, look at what I'm really creating in my life. And that's allowed me to, almost stay ageless. I'm 61 now, just had my birthday. Looking younger. Blood results and so on are of a much, say, younger man. And it's not just me, but it's a lot of people who practice exponential intelligence. So are you exponentially intelligent? Right? We'll see. Some of you might go, well, especially if you're new, it's like, well, yeah, I've made $1 billion business, and I've done this, and I've helped thousands and tens of thousands of individuals. You might not be exponentially intelligent. So you might want to take the 18-day HyperMeditations to see how really strong you are, because there's a lot of confidence out in the world. It's a lot of fiat confidence. Okay? When it gets down into looking inwards, you're looking at your own deeper, say, shadows, right? People break down. So it's probably one of the most hardest things, but one of the most, say, enjoyable, one of the most expansive, one of the most, almost the only way to self-actualize is the work that we do here, is by helping you become exponentially intelligent. One of the better ways to do it is not to give you the science. The science is based on quantum neuroscience. It's pretty much a new field. It's been around for a while, but it hasn't caught on because the advancements, or the science behind it, is so far out there that a lot of people go, well, there's a lot of gray area and so on like that. Well, I've managed to perfect that science, again, because you would have to go beyond, say, or the origin of frequencies. And some of you might not understand it, but I'll give you a brief explanation, and then we'll get into a deep state HyperMeditation, which you can actually experience on your own, even if you're new. Take a breath in again. Just noticing where you are. So frequencies that really transform you, or really I would call it changing your genetic makeup, and this is what quantum neuroscience is about quantum neurobiology. The biology that they've seen or they've studied, through lots of tests and thousands of people, is that they've studied that there is a connection, especially with your your cellular structure in your brain. But to me, it's pretty much your whole cell, the way you connect to higher consciousness. They've studied that there's something that goes beyond, say, the biology of the cell, or beyond the structure of your brain, or beyond the properties of you, your present, your physical form here. So what controls you, or what gives you, say, that source or that energy, is, again, a consciousness. Scientists don't know how to describe it. In religion, they describe it roughly by your spirit, but then your spirit has been tainted or distorted, the definition of it, all that, so it gets all into muddy waters. So right now, both science and religions don't really explain it well, and that's why we're here, because there is, say, a brilliance or a miracle in you or around you that renders you. I mean, look at your life. Look at you being here. That's just a miracle in itself, right? But so science doesn't know how to explain it, so it disavows a lot of those things that are true. So let's take a breath in again. The problem with science, it's turned into another religion, and that's where things get halted or stunted. The problem with religion, there's no science behind it. So again, this is a merging or a marrying of the two, and getting down to the real solutions on why life is the way it is, and then what you can do about it to change yours. Right? And that's the key. People always, discuss or have controversies on theories. But as you take a deep breath in, just notice your throat. Right? What good are theories? I mean, you can have a ton of theories if there's no, say, bottom line as far as results. You can have all the lab work or testing and all that, and you can all have the faith and the prayers and going to church and all that stuff, which is totally fine. I'm not against any of that. But take a deep breath in. Is it working for you? I want results here. I want you to have results here, and that's why try the 18-day hyper meditations, or have a session, or even in this meditation, you don't even have to buy anything. In this meditation, you'll transform. You'll go, shit, what is that? It goes beyond psychology or anything that's out there. Again, way out there, because this is advancements that are way out there, sometimes too good to believe, because it's way out there. The airplane was too good to believe. Telecommunication, wireless communication was too good to believe. In fact, they thought Tesla was a quack. In fact, they thought Einstein was a quack. They thought a lot of those great inventors, scientists that were real scientists that actually searched for the truth, were cracks. A lot of them got beheaded or put in jail, or ran out of their group. So the truth always is out there, but are you ready to listen to it? So as we take a deep breath in again. So again, if you're new, welcome. Give it a try. If your life hasn't been working your old way, your old methods, your old psychological, religious science patterns, then fuck, try something else. You got nothing to lose, right? Look at the bottom line. Look at the results, not science, not what they test, but actual your life results, right? That's what's important. So let's take a deep breath in. We'll get into the global frequency meditation. The global frequency meditation is bringing in your highest version of who you are. And it's not from a spiritual standpoint, but if you're spiritual, then that's what you'll experience. If not, it's not from a religious standpoint, but if you're a religion, if you've got a specific religion, that's what you'll experience. That's what your religion is supposed to do. If you're a scientist, you'll see the grander, say, miracles, and then the science behind it. Again, every scientific miracle was, say, magic at first, right? Until we figured out the science. If you're an atheist, you'll see the bigger version of who you really are, not the limited version of who you are. However you define it, doesn't matter, because this is all about you coming into a best possible version of human. So no matter what you believe, you're becoming a better human here. That's the key, right? You become a better human. You understand all that stuff that you waste your life on and not really practice anything. So let's take a deep breath in. Somebody was talking about the Oracle Circle last night. It was amazing, wasn't it? It was transformations in like overnight, literally. And if you don't believe me, join an Oracle Circle and see, or have a private session. But let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Today's topic on the global frequency meditation, and the global frequency meditation is, I've decided to do that, pretty much every month. We'll see how it goes. It depends on, say, the air, the atmosphere of the world, humanity. Seems like humanity really needs it. If you look around, if you look at your friends, if you look at, whether it's you at a personal level or at a grander level, notice your neck. People are getting fucked up, right? They don't know what's going on. Politicians, leaders, and so what do? They go back to their old self. Well, that's going backwards. It didn't work yesterday, or it's not going to work this year. It's not going to work now. So why use old world problems to fix new world, or why use old world solutions to fix new world problems? That's the problem, right? We need something else. We need something different. So take a deep breath in again. We need the truth. Notice your neck, notice your body. These global meditations are for you to see the one and only truth, or getting to a higher and higher, say, truth for you. One of the ways you can tell the truth is that, say that you believe in something. If it's an exception, if there's an exception to the rule of what you believe, it's not the truth. It could be the truth for your level, but if there's an exception, you need to dig deeper. So these global meditations are digging deeper for you to get the one truth. Again, if you have exceptions to your belief system, your rule set, your say scientific practices, your religious practices, your political practices, or any other view, there's exceptions to that, then you need to dig deeper. It's not the truth that you need to seek. Okay? It's not the truth. You need to go higher to the first principle of whatever you believe in. So breath in again. Notice where you are. In this case, we'll talk about, say, truth and bringing you into truth. Now, if you're ready for it, you want to take a deep breath in all together and just confirm. It's like, hey, you know what? I want the truth. I don't care what media says. I don't care what politicians say. I don't care what my religion has taught me. I want the truth. By the way, your religion isn't getting the same results as the creators of those religion. You're doing it wrong. Just straight out. Look at the bottom line. Okay, you should be getting the same results. Breath in again. So, what is the truth? There's truth in everything. There's your truth, which is true for you. It might not be true for anybody else. There's group truths, like belief systems. There's science truth, and then there's a pure definition of pretty much everything that's out there, right? That works. So a truth is basically something, and this truth that we're seeking here in these frequency meditations is that one truth that works for all, right? That completeness that works for all, not for certain cases, or not if you're poor, or not if you're wealthy, or not if you know people. It's that truth that works for all. So let's get into that truth. That means that you can't live a lie. You can't live being poor or dismantled, or successful but not happy. None of those are truths for you. That's the kind of truth that you seek, right? Let's go ahead and expose you to that truth. And then you standing up for it. Breath in again. So what is your truth? Look inside you. I'll create a safety space for you. Just notice your body, notice your skin. And these are called hypermeditations because I guide you into a deep state using frequencies, not calming your mind, although it's the same effect. Notice how you're feeling. Truth is all about time and space, how you render yourself here, how you create yourself here, where you are in the matrix. Got nothing to do with your psychology or what you believe in. It's why what you believe in isn't consistent, or what you take as far as a medication or anything else. Again, not knocking those down, but it's not consistent. Take a breath in again. So we're seeking for truth. Truth, they say, is a great healer. Truth is also very vicious. That's how it heals. Once you expose truth, as you notice inwards, and notice those things that you're hiding, that's not you. It's a lie of you. So, for example, you've been abused in the past. So you live a lie of being abused, or you're not lucky, or you're addicted to something. That's not your truth. Could be your parents' truth, or their parents' truth, but it's not yours. So you live a lie. If you feel that there's more to life than you're living, no matter the success level or that opposite, it's not your life. Look at the way you age. Notice your neck, notice your throat, notice the spine. Is that how humans are supposed to age? Is there a better way? Look at the way you sacrifice to achieve those things that you think are you, even God. Is that a true path? Take a breath in. Or is that dogma that is now turned into truth? Look at the youth. While they always fight against the system, you, the younger days, fought against the system. And now you've become the system that the youth fight upon because they don't want the lies that you all live. So you chastise them and you force them and you bend them into the truth that didn't work for you through your political systems, your religions, your family standards, your personal beliefs that didn't work for you. Breath in again. Some people are saying I look like Santa Claus with my rosy cheeks. Well, look, Chris and Moss, Christ and Moss. Some people actually do think I'm Santa Claus because I actually give them what they're actually looking for. Not what you want, but what you're looking for, a grander version. So thank you for that. Breath in again. So let's give you or help you understand what you're actually looking for in the first place, because you might think, well, if I only had X, whatever X is, you get X, money or, a trophy wife or a trophy spouse or trophy whatever, and it's like, shit, why isn't it good enough? Breath in again. Notice how you're feeling. There are those of you who stunt the truth, thinking that your truth is real. So you hide it, or you try to destroy others because it doesn't match your truth, right? Cancel culture. Back in the day, it was about a specific color or a religion or sex. Now they call it a cooler word called cancel culture, right? You're doing your job. You're doing your job to fight for the truth that you or so-called scientists agree upon, but it's not the truth because there's exceptions to the rule. So you cancel everybody out. So you take a deep breath in again. Notice what you're feeling. Some of you might be feeling really grand right now as you take a deep breath in, and you might go, well, I'm just guiding you verbally. No, you can feel the frequencies. Most of you, almost all of you. Some of you might not feel good. That's because it's your bullshit coming out of you once and for all. Notice your gut. It's why becoming exponentially intelligent, it's the hardest thing you'll do because, well, you face your truth. And let's bring in those world leaders or those people who destroy truth. Whether you're coming from a victim trying to destroy truth or leaders that try to control you by hiding the truth, by selling you lies and propaganda. And so either way, whether the victim patterns, right, destroying you, you can't say that because it's not my truth, right? They play a victim role. Those people who say are doing it for the bigger cause of humanity by squelching truth or others' opinions. Breath in again. And those people who take the charge and go, this is the truth, but then their lives are horseshit, just like everybody else's. Right? Whether it's a country's life, look at the country that it invades other countries, right? Whether it's the U.S. or the Ukraine or Russia or China or anything else, look at their countries. Look at the people. It's disgusting. Breath in again. They fight for truth with lies. How are you ever gonna get truth? Look at your own personal life. You fight for truth with your lies. Breath in again. And then they also spread propaganda on to control you. There's a great quote. It says, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. I'm sure you've all heard that. I adhere to it. People who are good, kind people, they adhere to that. Breath in again. Notice your spine. You can adjust your spine. I'm not a doctor or anything. Don't claim to cure you, but let's see what can happen. Or notice any aches that you might have. The only thing necessary for triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. It's a false statement. Religions, good people, spiritual people adhere to that. In fact, I adhere to it. But now, that might be true, but now it's time for you to speak the truth or live the truth. So as I guide you into those deeper states, I'm sure it was coined by somebody, again, propaganda. Because good people always want to do, or the truthful people always want to do the honorable thing, right? So you create honorable mention or something that, hey, this is honorable. And then people seek it as truth. So breath in again. For example, I can give you a ton of examples. The quote here, and I'll talk about that. Breath in again. As I help you seek truth, not my truth, not your religion's or political views' truth, but the truth. There we go. For example, people say you have to destroy your life or sacrifice your life to help others. It's not a truth. It's a dogma people adhere to. If you don't believe me, look at all those great individuals who've helped others in that way, and they've destroyed themselves, and society hasn't elevated in a fashion. That proves that true. Truth should stand at all levels for you. So if the truth is truth for you, it should be truth for the other side. Again, like war. You, one country, trying to save the sovereignty or freedom of your country by destroying others. It's kind of tough to swallow. Or it's an honor for your youth to give their life for freedom for your country. But then, again, you're destroying others' youth. It's not the truth. There must be a better way. Or for those people who gave their life, their honor, their limbs, and so on, they come back, right? It was an honor to serve, and then they come back and they're destroyed by the system that they fought for freedom, and now they're homeless. Is that the truth that you fight for? And that's a country level, but look at you at a personal level. Look at those people who destroy truth. Again, is that truth? Those people who get offended by others and then they shut them down. My work, people get offended by it. That crazy lady that probably sent you all from Instagram, and she's probably on the call. Right. So that some crazy stuff about her own truth. Although she just tries to destroy me, some of you might gotten some grotesque imagery of me and so on like that. Again, she espouses the truth. Breathing again. But it's time to stand up for your truth, guys. Notice your back, notice your spine. It's time for those people who speak the truth, who create solutions like, say, cancer solutions and all those things that can actually help people but get shunted down. It's time for those truths to become alive. Let me read you the paragraph. So those people who say it's an honor to say nothing, for good men to stand quiet and watch evil take over, where that came from. It was probably from an evil person who stated that, by the way. The only thing necessary for triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Again, that's bullshit. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Its quote is routinely attributed to Edmund Burke, but that's even a lie. It turns out falsely. So apparently he never uttered these words. At best, the essence of the quote can be traced back to the utilitarian philosopher John Stuart Mill, who delivered an 1867 inaugural address at the University of St. Andrew. As you take a deep breath in, helping you not fight the truth, but be the truth. Stated that let not any one pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. He is not a good man who, without a protest, allows wrong to be committed in his name, and with the means which he helps to supply, because he will not trouble himself to use his mind on the subject. I just want you to read that again, because how many times have we just kept laid quiet, right? We laid quiet. Reason to vent, fiasco on the world. A lot of us laid quiet. So let me state what he said. Let not any one pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. He is not a good man who, without a protest, allows wrong to be committed in his name, and with the means which he helps to supply, because he will not trouble himself to use his mind on the subject. So basically, it's the opposite of what everybody believes in. It's pretty much the opposite, and that's how truth gets shut down or buried. Not anymore, though. Breath in again. It's time for you to look inward, because you can't trust media. You can't trust what's on the internet. You can't trust these crazy people that attract those truth sayers. So stand up, speak up, follow your natural intelligence. The natural intelligence that you are created from, that brought you to this level, the universe that's within you. That's created the marvel that are you, your natural intelligence. Be guided by that, not those people who seek something from you. So speak out. Speak out against this crazy lady that attacks me. Talk back. Those people go, well, they've been damaged. My husband's an alcoholic. Or this lady again, who's been abused when she's been young. We should love them and care them. Love them so their truth exposes, so they can heal. Not love them in a way to coddle their lies. Or that person's had a bad day, and because of that, it's okay for you to get abused or shortchanged. Or again, that person's been alcoholic, or that person is mentally unstable. We should just do nothing. No, you stand strong and be yourself and don't take it. You stand strong and stand for your truth. Those things get exposed and they die. So stand up, say those things, speak back. If you see lies, speak back. Okay? Better yet, be the truth. Notice how you feel. It's time to take action. It's a pivotal time. This is where you stand for truth and go forward and speak for truth and go forward. You'll see that you'll be protected. You'll see that if you resonate as truth, your frequencies are true. You'll see that there's a guiding light of security that creates strength and purity for you. This is where the world, or in your religious texts, the meek shall inherit the earth, whether you're Muslim or Jewish or Christian. It's said in your text, the meek shall inherit the earth. It's basically you, the weak, those great men who said nothing, right? And evil that will disappear. You have to be something, say something. If you don't believe in something, don't do it. This meditation, I would suggest you listening to it again. Will help you stand strong. You, again, resonating as truth. And if you resonate with truth, again, from your, say, natural intelligence, everything else will show through for you. Your life will be true. The people you help will be true. The people you help will help you as you help them, not destroy you. There you go. All right. This is kind of interesting, and then I'll go ahead and scan you all, and I'll tell you what that is. This is Moss, our old text, like Aristotle, true because they have stood the test of time. Not necessarily, because it just depends on, say, the masses and what the masses think. Again, the quote that I just read you, right? Good men do nothing. That stood the test of time. That was in 1800. The real text comes out, but again, it's been distorted, and then people follow that, right? The religions who've stood the test of time, again, not by, say, outward expression or the bottom line transformations, but just because it's a belief. Those things have stood the test of time. It hasn't been true. The way you age, the way you look at, say, creating money or success, those have stood the test of time, but they're all lies. You don't have to destroy yourself, sacrifice yourself in those things that everybody espouses. You know, the greatest motivators here, self-improvement people, you know their names and so on. You even go to their events. And again, they're fantastic people, that fantastic, and they're speaking their version of the truth, but you need the deeper version for those things to help you out, right? There's a totally different way of you creating, say, a beautiful life for yourself without having one or the other. Do I choose to be self-actualized, or do I choose, success and slave myself for money? Why not? Why not have both? That's a paradigm. That's what we teach. If you become exponentially intelligent, you can have all that. Again, those are all the truths. If you lived your grander version, and I'll close out with this, just think of it. Whether you're religious, you have a spirit that's all limitless for you, right? All possible of you. You're totally abundant. If you're connected to that, if you're religious or spiritual, you'd be abundant here. Whether you're atheist or that scientist that don't believe in your spirit, you know deep inside that there's a more intelligent version of the world here. That's why you seek, scientific proof or betterment through technology, a better version of you. What is that grander version? Well, so there's truth in that as well. So either way, we're all seeking abundance in all aspects of our lives. So that's the truth that we're seeking, right? So have your religions, your science brought that about for you? Maybe not. Seek for truth. Let's take a deep breath in. There's lots of ways to find truth or become exponentially intelligent. The best ways to have you, bring out your natural intelligence that creates the universes, creates you, creates all that you need to survive. April elevation. If you're new, April elevation is where you meditate with me 4 times a month. So just to get your feet wet, but this allows you to understand how frequencies change you rather than psychology or your beliefs or leadership patterns or anything like that. It's very powerful. So that's coming up for you. It opens you up for those, for the elevation, for the essential coming up in March, April, in May, the essential, and the 18-day HyperMeditation is the 18-day essential and accelerated. So it opens you up for that. It gets you really ready. If you've done the 18 days, and how many of you have done the 18 days? Right? If you've done the 18 days, the elevation, which is 4 times a month, allows you that momentum to keep going on your own, because the truth is about you coming strong on your own. Mother Day, Father Day events coming up. It's really about not you being a better mother or you healing your mother pains. So it's anybody within that has mother pains or want to become a better parent. It's about you, for women, becoming, say, that strong identity of human who has a lovely experience of being a mother, right? A lot of women, they sacrifice themselves, again, not a true motherhood experience. They sacrifice themselves for their children. It destroys the children. It destroys the mother. Hence, kids become a pain in the ass, right? And then you hate your parents. So again, learn how to do motherhood right, or learn how to heal from your mother's patterns. Same thing with fathers. And it's around the Mother's Day and Father's Day. I think it's a few days before, actually. So you can going into Mother's Day, Father's Day proper. We've talked about April elevation, the frequency spa coming up on Wednesday. Frequency spa is like, is there a fountain of youth? Yes, there is. It's not in medications or new technologies or, what do they call that? Telomeres and supplements and, the great next whatever. It's been done before. And do you notice people keep aging? I'm not knocking those things. Those things I use myself. Well, they're fantastic. But what's the real key? What's the real fountain, right? Where you can actually say drink out of? Well, it's the fountain of frequencies. That's the frequency spa. The fountain of frequencies allows you to stay youthful. Again, I'm 61, aging younger, not just physically features, but look at my skin. It looks younger. It doesn't look like a 61-year-old. Why is that? Because it's the frequency. You don't have to age like society does. It's a lie. That's coming up. Personal deprogramming allows you to disconnect from all that stuff that you've, say, held onto. Right? This is on defensiveness. Why are you defensive? There's probably a good reason for it, but now it's destroying you. So what a tool that was very beneficial for you, baby, back in the day when you were younger to protect yourself from whatever, now it's becoming, say, a destructive tool for you. So helping you release that pattern for you. All right, let's go ahead and scan you. So what does that mean, scan you? Basically, I read your frequency signature. So what does that mean? It's like I read your blueprint or your DNA. So what does that mean? It means basically the program that dictates how you operate. So for example, the way you age, it's a program. The way you have your relationships work out, right? No matter what you do, again, like I said earlier, you tend to, say, gravitate towards the same type of person unless something drastic changes. So that's your program. I can access your program. I'm not a psychic, by the way. I can access your algorithm. Right? Just like Google and Facebook and your government, right, takes surveys and watches everything that you do to have an algorithm of you. I don't need that stuff. I can just access you. I can log into you basically and read you. By the way, this is Sajady with Xponential Intelligence. What is this? This is April 3rd, 2022. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature, tell you what I see. So if I tell you, if I read or analyze you and tell you something medical, again, I'm just telling you that's what I see. I could be all wrong. Okay, so consult a professional, and it might not be your medical professional. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to share your session here, then don't ask to be scanned. So if you ask to be scanned, then later on ask us to remove that part of the program, we won't do it, right? It's just, so don't ask to be scanned. There are private sessions for you if you're like that. And then please, all contents are protected by copyright. So you can't use any of our content, images, pictures, anything like that, especially for that crazy lady that is out there. You can't use any of that without our permission. Okay? And then also, if you want to be scanned, just ask once. Haters destroy themselves in the higher consciousness. Oh, just wait. So, is there, say, a hell? Is there a heaven? The day of judgment and all that stuff. It's simple. No, it's not that. But, if you're, say, 90% dark, right? No matter what it is, whether it's a good reason or bad reason, you were victimized and all that stuff, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't care. If you're awakened, right? If you're not awakened, say you're 90% not awakened, right? The truth comes through to awaken you. Well, if you're 90% and say you have a body and 90% of you is a tumor, think of it. You're here, you get cleaned out. You would perish, you would die, you would destroy yourself. It would be a hell for you to clean up. So yes, those people who hid the truth are of that nature. They'll die, they'll destroy themselves within their own selves, no matter what they do. This one is Pearl. Can you scan me? Sure. it just seems like you have like gut problems or stomach issues from what I'm seeing. And by the way, if I read you or analyze you, please comment back. I know I'm accurate, but it's for you to understand. It's like, how the hell did that guy do it? Because for those people who are up and coming in their abilities, it allows you to access what I can access, because we can all do this, by the way. So anyway, for you, Pearl, there's always a stomach issue here or a gut issue here, and it almost seems like there was an event that happened. Actually, 3 events that happened. It's probably started from like 14, 15, 16, and then in your, say, late 20s, and then I want to say 34 or something like that. It's basically the same event or the same cycle that happens to you, where you just get like a blow, like say a divorce or, a breakup or, something like that. It just hits you, and it's just like, it just knocks the breath out of you, basically. And then as it knocks the breath out of you, it takes you, say, years to recover. And then, well, you recover. Yeah. Obviously, I can't, just because of time, I'm not going to go ahead and, read all of you. But and it's not just that I read you all. It's as I help or Pearl, and if you have similar issues, if you're listening in, even on a recording, this will benefit you as well. Okay. So for those people who feel just like you just get the wind knocked out of you, again, like you're going along, like for you, for maybe a love relationship in your late 20s, and then you think you're getting married or whatever that is, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, what? You're leaving me? It's like that, those kind of patterns, right? It's just like, you think you're going good, and all of a sudden you get the wind knocked out of you. Basically, it's a cycle, and it's got nothing to do with what you're experiencing, and that's the problem. The deeper cycle is that you have a pattern of where, so the underlying factor is that you stop time. Right? So anything successful or anything joyous or anything, say, grand that'll happen to you, right? Abundance that'll happen to you. You get to a certain point. You get to that certain point, the wind gets knocked out of you. So that's your cycle. And then you start back down. Okay? So basically, this is a deeper version of fear of success or fear of realizing who you really are. So you can't hold on to success. Basically, it gets worse and worse as you age, with more devastating, say, experiences, unless you, say, take this pattern out. So it's already happened to you 3 times. Breath in again. So with the 18-day hyper meditations, and even this, you'll start to see the patterns on why things climax, and then they just, boom, they destroy themselves. Okay. We'll move on. This one is DP Inc. Yeah, DP Inc. Could you scan me, Moss? Thank you. Sure. And by the way, I don't need to know your name or anything like that. Your picture, when you were born, the frequencies. You have an IP address, a personal frequency signature that is encoded in whatever that you do, even if it's type, in chats. You leave your essence or your DNA, no matter what you're doing. Your thought, I can read you from, say, a thought of you. But anyway, for you, DP, there's lower in your family, and again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just telling you what I see. It could be all wrong. But in your family, from what I'm seeing, as they age, they have motor skill issues. So that means they start to walk slower. They start to be more cautious. They trip over their own feet. Their feet-eye coordination, messes them up. So they have a hard time walking down steps and so on like that. So you might go, well, what is that? Is it a mental or a physical brain type issue? But take a breath in, DP. And you go, well, I don't have that. Well, look at your elders. Your grandfather has it. Yeah. And your parents will have it as well. You would have a propensity to have that. Okay. I'm not saying that you do, but you would most likely, if they have it, like your parents have heart issues, you have a higher propensity. So if I'm accurate, you would have a higher propensity. But it's not about, take a breath in. Again, notice the back of your head, DP, and those others as well. So as you age, do you have to age like that? No, you don't. XI is proving that people don't have to age like that. Those who aren't aging like their parents anymore, comment in. Breath in again. So for you, when I'm helping you with that, but it's a deeper version. It's not a brain issue that I see. Again, not a doctor, but I've helped people like this. What happens is you disorient yourself in space and time. And as you age, again, you get disoriented in space and time. So this is where they have issues walking forward. They can't tell where their feet is compared to the ground because they're disoriented of space and time. It's not a brain function, although it turns into one. Take a breath in again. So you basically, DP, are the offshoot of that is you see two versions of yourself. One version is here, and then you create another version here. You're operating both. So if you were like, say, on drugs or whatever, right? You kind of see two versions of self, right? And it's hard to, say, walk around, right? You get disoriented. Basically, that's what it is. So breath in again. So this is where you split identity. You're not sure what to do. You think of, you want to do something here, you choose decision A, but then you say flip over, or you get disoriented, so to speak. You fall forward, right? You're about, say, a foot off. So you render yourself here, and I talk about the science on, like on the lecture series and so on like that. But you render yourself here, you create another rendering here. So your computer goes, well, which one am I? And this is where you experience, again, split decisions. You make a decision here, I like blue. You flip over into this, you morph into this reality. It's like, wait a second, I don't even like blue, I like green. Those kind of patterns. Those come from not a brain issue or shit, I got to get together, because what you do is like, I got to focus on something. So you would have a tendency on, say, focusing on, say, something specific, or you get latched onto something specific, or you might listen to a song over and over again, or it's in your brain because, again, it pulls you into a oneness. So what you're actually seeking, and this is what I'm helping you with, is how you render yourself here in space-time. Again, fourth coordinate. So let's put you back in. And that's what I was helping you with. Right? So DP, comment in on how you feel. You'll probably feel more like, shit, I'm really here, even now, right? Or other people who are similar to you, again, comment in, see how you feel. Are you guys more like, boom, more present? Because you're in space and time more. Somebody was feeling euphoric. That's awesome, Claire. This one is Serena Moss. Can you scan my left side? I feel something there. It manifests on my right side, but I believe it is on my left. Serena. Yeah, Serena. So for you, yeah, there is something on the left. So, for you in the past, and again, you've done a great job with XI, you've cleaned yourself out in the past, and it's kind of hard to read, which is, again, a good sign for you that you're leaving all that. So it's not in your frequency signature. People would inhabit you, right? You would go out with somebody, and over time you'd lose your identity for them. So you'd turn into them, right? They literally would like melt into you. And then you're a woman, but if there's a man, right, you turn into, say, a masculine, and then you don't feel good about yourself. Not to get too personal, but sometimes you would have, say, masculine issues, like maybe over, I'm just seeing hair growth and stuff like that, like a beard or mustache, whatever, those kind of patterns, right? Things, or your hips would shift into a more of a square version, again, more manly and so on like that. That was back in the day. Or you would turn into, say, a mom. Your mom was messed up, feminine wise. She was more man, so to speak. So anyway, what you're experiencing at the level that you're at, Serena, is that those patterns, I would call it, at a genetic makeup, at a DNA level, those patterns are leaving you. So you turn more into, say, a strong female identity, right? XI feminine. So that's what's happening. So what you're experiencing is the cellular memories, or basically your DNA changing and shifting. It's like, hey, my the square hips that my mom has, or I don't need to age like that. I can keep, say, my physical shape of my youth, rather than aging like, well, fortunately, how most women age. So that's a really nice job, by the way. Somebody's talking about the Web3 Ethereum ecosystem needs to be tapped into the truth. This one, Allison Asplin. Also, may I have a scan, please? Of course. So, Allison, for you, you always feel like say a young woman or young girl. So you're always like, as you age, it's almost like you're about, say, 20 years younger than who you actually are. So you might look younger, right? Which is good. And this is the technique that we use on the frequency spas to, help you younger. But for you, Allison, what's happened is that you've slowed time down. Okay, you've slowed time down. So and the problem is that you've slowed everything down. So you might look younger, yes, but emotionally, wisdom wise and so on, like socially, you're like, again, a person that is 20 years younger than your age, which causes a lot of issues because, what you do at, say, a certain age, like emotions, relationships, and so on like that. Right. So you feel off. Or you feel like you can't, say, converse with people of your age. You always tend, or you feel alone, so to speak, because you can't hang out with people 20 years younger because you're not quite in the mix. And then you can't hang out with people your own age, or you can't hang out with people who are even older than you, for example, which you used to do. And that's the key. Take a breath in. So let's define you. You can still keep the youth, we'll do that, but let's help you age into the knowledge and wisdom of your age, okay? So youthfulness, but then the wisdom of age. So if that makes sense for you. And it's almost like there's two scenarios. They both are probably true. Something about your grandma or your parents, one of your parents, a feminine frequency. So it could be your father, feminine frequency, having a hell of a time, or an abusive grandmother type frequency, okay, which has destroyed, say, your father or your mother, and then your mother or father, again, a feminine frequency. So if your father is running a feminine frequency, it'd be your father. Yeah. So, and then they got messed up. So they latch onto you when you're a young girl. And then basically you're running the burdens of, say, your mom as a young girl, which is, well, it messes you up, right? You're a 7-year-old, and maybe that's when your grandma died or something. Your mom got devastated and so on like that. And in that devastation, you anchored. So you slowed time down. And then you aged to hold on to the burdens of your mom or your parents or your family. So releasing that from you because it's not your burdens. Okay. This is Jocelyn, Chua. Time to stand up for truth. Yes. And that's what you're doing, Jocelyn, by the way. You're not allowing others to, say, inhabit you. So you are becoming that strong woman that you've always wanted to be. This one, a lovely and peaceful frequency, isn't it? That's the truth. 18 days is life-changing. Thanks for that. This is Astro Yoga. Hi, Moss, please scan me and my daughter. Yeah, so you two are doing really, really good. It seems like, you separated yourself, which is really good. Before, you would huddle as victims, right? Maybe from like a spouse or something like that, or just running from fear, whatever that might be. But anyway, you separated. You separated your strong identity, a strong mother identity. Your daughter's a strong daughter identity, and now you're merging together. It's like, hey, so your relationship is much, much deeper. And by the way, if you go through the 18 days and so on, and you go, hey, Moss, I'm separating from my kids or my spouse, and that's a good thing because you're learning to stand up on your own, and then they learn to stand up on their own. So that's what's happening for you. And now you're together as a strong force, right? Not destroying each other or not keeping each other protected in a victim way, but you're a strong force. And it's like, hey, and you're and the both of you, it's like a new form of a woman, or xi, say woman or feminine. Take a breath in, hon. This is where you're not solving problems, especially for your daughter. It's like she's cleaning up some of those things that you cleaned up at your age with xi. She's cleaning it up at her age, so she's going to say no to a lot of those patterns. So she'll stay youthful and vibrant, and not run, especially the relationship patterns for you. So that's where you are. So what I was helping you with is like downloading different possibilities so she doesn't repeat and you don't repeat, say, your old pattern. Okay? So I never wanted to be a mother, not that type of woman. That's really good. But if you again, sometimes we don't want to say perpetuate the distortions that we had. So like, I'm not going to be a mom, right? So personal optimization success tonight. Yes, that I forgot to mention that, but yeah, that's coming up for you all. Again, if you're new, I'd highly recommend jumping on board to really feel the frequencies. Let's see, guys. Scanning just. This is Jola. Please scan my goddaughter. Thanks. 18 days is super. Thank you. So your goddaughter. So what is it, Jola? So Jola, you've really changed. You've really changed quite a bit. So your goddaughter is gravitating towards you, whether she sees you or not. Kids always gravitate to the higher frequency. There's something wrong with your goddaughter's mom, or it's a feminine frequency. Again, I see frequency, so it could be the husband, but or the mother. I don't know if they took the vaccine or not, but it's something to that effect. Anyway, that's a side note. So your goddaughter, that feminine frequency is so basically, this is where parents try to do the good thing, by loving their kids so much that they suffocate their child, right? So basically, the weaknesses of that feminine frequency, they're projecting it onto your goddaughter, and then the goddaughter says, because she's learning, she's young, it's like, God, that's the way the environment is. I guess that's the way it is. So she turns into her mom, right? Basically, I would say it as suffocation, where you just, it's that nurture nature scenario, right? She's the mother, or the feminine frequency is nurturing that daughter of theirs to turn out to be like theirs. And that's why she'll gravitate towards you. It doesn't have to be that way. No, it doesn't. Not with XI. So what I would suggest is bringing your goddaughter into the meditation. And although she's in the same environment, she's going to be different, and she's going to learn to use her own, say, natural intelligence. Okay. Rather than, I'll have what mom's having because that's what my environment is, right? So it's not about your environment or your experiences that you went through. It's how you process what you go through that makes a difference. This one's, can you please scan me, Moss? Thank you. Sure. What is it? Tanja? Tanja Maria, Tanja Maria 11. Sure. You seem really desperate. It's almost like there's entities or other things that control your mind. That's the way you would analyze it or see it. Yeah. So it's always like you're hyper. You got to do something. You're always in, say, crisis mode and so on like that. You're always stepping out of yourself. It almost seems like your mom, alcoholism. Yeah. There might be like alcoholism or the opposite of that. Say your family might not have been, alcohol issues, but say grandparents or great grandparents might have had alcohol or abuse pattern. They kind of run together. So your family might be dry, but they're running, say, the support side, of alcoholism and those kind of patterns. Anyway, so from that scenario, you're always, say, afraid of being where you are. So when you can't be silent, you can't sit still. You always have to be doing something. You'd be fidgeting because, again, if you sit still, all the things that you run away from, or the things that the memories and so on that you forgot when you were younger, that was a safety mechanism, will show up. So again, that's why you're jittery, so to speak. So take a breath in. With XI, you have to heal that. So the more you take XI, by the way, the more those things open up. But the way XI does it is basically you elevate yourself to a place of strength, because you're still running a version of a scared child, no matter how old you are, right? So you elevate yourself to a place of strength. It's like, hey, I'm older, I'm a lot stronger, I'm not running those patterns anymore. And then you create that strength and you go, oh, you know what? Let's go heal. Let's go back and see what happened to myself as a child. And then you're that parent that, I call it reparenting. Again, the Mother's and Father's Day is basically, it's a reparenting event for you. You'll go back and heal yourself, and then you heal your inner child. And this is where you can go. You go, oh, okay, that's what happened to me, or that's what happened to me, and you can see it, and then you nurture yourself rather than destroy or escape yourself. So that's where you are. So in this session, I was helping you build a strong platform so you can start opening up what you don't want to see in the past. Okay. Very different than psychology, where they just allow you. And this is what, again, I'm not against psychologists or therapists or anything like that, but tell me about your past. And and then unfortunately what you do is, yes, what happens is that, you talk about your past, but the key is that you'll go back in time and recreate it as a child. You'll see it from a child's version of your past, which is not helpful at all. It creates and solidifies that because it renders you, okay? And it's from memory, right? What XI does, creates a strong version of you, again, in the present. You get anchored in the present. You go back in time as, say, an infinite figure or a wiser figure. You'll go back and use the wisdom again. So it's not a memory. You literally go back in time into your childhood. Many of you have experienced it. Comment in when you're healing your past. Do you notice that you feel like a child? You're not running memories of a scared child. You're actually a child going, oh, this is the way it should be. It changes your cellular structure, not what you've, say, remembered at a logical level or a conscious level. So a lot of people answering back. Thanks for the feedback, guys. One more and then we'll call it a day. This is Ivy Blue with a cute little Santa Claus. Again, people think I'm Santa Claus because I give them what they need. So may I have a scan? Yes. You're really a good person. Yeah, you're really a fantastic person. But your definition of being a good person is defined by you swallow other people's pains, you swallow the burdens, you swallow your hurts, and so on like that. Somebody hurts you, you don't do anything about it. You just like swallow it. It's like, well, I'm a good person. They're having a bad day, type scenario. That kind of person, Ivy. So you literally feel there's just a heaviness or a lump in your chest, right? And then sometimes you go in private, and sometimes it's almost like you should go in private or go somewhere and just yell. It'll make you feel really good, Ivy. This session will probably prompt that for you, because whatever that you've buried, and it's not just your stuff that you've buried, it's your mother's stuff, right? She was pissed off or whatever, and she's changing your diaper and all this stuff. Again, the mothers do that all the time, right? They change your diaper and they're just like mad and angry at their spouse or whatever situation, and they're looking at you and they're changing you, and you're just this little kid going, it's like, fuck, what are these frequencies, so anyway, so that kind of pattern, and then basically all that stuff is dumped into you, and it's like, and you're going, what the fuck do I do with it? So even as a kid, it's like, well, what do I do with this it's not mine, which is a really good thing for you. You've said it's not yours, so you've kind of pushed it off, but you didn't completely delete it. So the nice thing again is you're awakened. It's like, this isn't my frequencies. I'll keep it as a backpack, but it's still on you. So let's just remove that now for you. It's easy. And then what you've done is again run those patterns with your experiences. So something bad happens to you or something, again, what do good men do, right? They don't speak up, right, to conquer evil. Anyway, take a breath in. Ivy, especially you. Let's just pull out all that stuff that you should have said. So, so in this scenario, even with this mini session, and by the way, I don't need a full half hour or whatever, like 10 minutes for a lot of you. It was suffice it to be like 20, 30 years of therapy. Or going to these events with all these other people. Anyway, for you, Ivy, you take a breath in, and those who say have swallowed themselves, swallowed their pride, swallowed their dignity, swallowed their whatever to be a good person, right? And maybe that's why I picked you. It matches the theme to end this all in. There we go. So for you, Ivy, what'll happen for you is that it's like you'll get into situations where you'll have to speak up and talk. You can't hide it this time. It'll be detrimental for you. So this allows, I can't change you. It'd be against free will. I can give you an opportunity to change. I can show you the possibilities of who you are. You would have to accept it. So for you and others, especially you, Ivy, something shows up. You're uncomfortable with it. In the past, you would swallow that and go, I'm not going to say anything. I'm a good person. This time you're gonna literally it'll almost like come out of you. So allow it to come out of you and go, well, what do I say? It doesn't matter. Your higher self, once you start speaking, your higher self will take over, and you'll go, shit, where did that come from? Your higher self it's always been there for you. Now you know how to access it. Okay. So I was just giving you access to your higher self so you don't have to swallow the truth, basically. And this is where you stand up, you speak up, you start becoming vibrant. Your gifts that you have, you're very creative. You do really well putting people together, so to speak. Those things will show up. So, yeah. Anyway, very good, guys. Very nice. Thank you for being here. Notice what you notice. Notice how you're feeling, by the way. We'll continue on with Moss on Sunday. We'll do the exact same thing. Not the frequency meditation. I forgot the theme. Sorry on what we're going to do, but a lot of good stuff coming up. It's this month's theme. It coming into April is on, say, space-time, self-actualization, coming through, how space-time affects self-actualization, how space-time affects abundance, your relationships, and everything else. It's about, say, quantum neurobiology, the connection, again, between that higher consciousness, or what's that connection that your cells go through to connect to that higher knowledge. I call it your natural intelligence. So it's all about that. It's about the science on XI. So that's what this month's theme. So look out for upcoming events or upcoming Moss on Sundays. All right. So as we end, notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. Peace.